one of the things that I've seen a lot of people doing on BookTube is reading ARCs, advanced reader copy, or advanced reviewer copy, depending on how you want to say it. And I started thinking, it might be a cool thing to do for me. But then I had a couple of things that made me say, well, wait a minute, maybe I don't want to jump into this. I did eventually do it, and I'm glad I did it. But the two things that really made me think about it very carefully were, number one, I am a notoriously slow reader. And I sometimes take a long time. I might take a week or 2 weeks for certain books, and sometimes even longer than that if I get caught up in other things or another book pops up and I'm like, oh man, I really want to jump into that. And sometimes I'll go and grab that and hit the ground running, and I'll end up falling behind on a certain book that I started and felt really good about. And so I was really worried about that one. And then number two, I'm a very picky reader, and I knew that in putting myself out there to read arcs that I might not get the ones that I really want, but I might get some that I didn't want maybe quite as much. So I was a little bit nervous about that, in addition to being a slow reader. But eventually I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it because I just think it'd be really cool to kind of get into that and to have an opportunity to read books before they're released or maybe soon after they're released, to just get a feel for what the book is like and to just kind of get that early view. And hopefully as things go on, I'll get better and better books that I'll be allowed to review beforehand and have opportunities to review some of those books that like everybody's talking about that are like really cool books. And so, so I got started in it, dipped my toe into the water, so to speak, and I'm really excited about the one that I got. And I'm looking forward to reviewing it. I think I'm about 25% into it, but I have had it for, I don't know, probably a couple weeks. So I've been reading it really slow because I had another couple books that I was already reading, and I wanted to kind of be true to those first and get those done, and then I'll really jump into the arc. So I'm hoping to finish that up here in the next week and to really knock that out, and looking forward to reviewing it. So far, it's actually been pretty good. Again, about a quarter of the way through it, and it's really been a very interesting story, a little different type of story than what I would normally read, and that's one of the reasons why I put myself down for that on NetGalley. So I was excited about that, looking forward to it. And so if you're thinking that maybe you're a slow reader, that's probably not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you want to really process it and be able to review a book carefully. It's probably not the worst thing in the world. And if you're a picky reader, just pick the ones that you really, really want to read. And if there aren't things that you want to read, then maybe you just skip it for the time being and maybe come back to it later. But don't let those things help you or force you to put the brake on everything. Just be willing to take some chances and to open your mind to different types of books that you might be interested in reading. You never know, you might get a surprise book that is maybe not what you would normally have read in the past, but it's something that really hits home and something that gets you really excited. And so keep your mind open. Don't be afraid of being a slow reader, and just give yourself an opportunity to explore different things. And many times you might end up, there may be sometimes, I won't say many times, there might be some times where you might end up a little bit disappointed, but there's probably going to be other times where you're going to be happy that you stepped a little bit outside of your comfort zone to find something that's really good, that's really going to catch your attention, and perhaps open your mind to a different genre than what you would normally read. So take some chances. Sometimes, if not most of the time, you'll be happy that you did.